Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Media Nord podcast CEU specials by students for students. I'm Anelia, and I will be hosting this episode 15, with Leonardo.
Hello, everyone. Media Nord podcast is a space created by our student community, a space where we have conversation about different things and different topics, such as student interests and concerns about the student life at Nord University, but also societal challenges like inclusion, diversity, equality, sustainability, among others.
Also, it's a place where we can talk about our future careers in the media entertainment industry, its innovation, and its new technologies. This is the 15th episode, and it's also, unfortunately, the last one.
Yes, indeed. And Media Nord podcast is a project that was born during the first semester of 2023. It was an original space for students to interview experts from the media world. And we started in a small room in Pavilion 1 with just a small mixer, 2 cameras and 2 mics.
And now, in 2024, Media Nord has found a way to expand the horizons of what was possible for this project. And indeed, today, it's a multicam YouTube live streaming podcast made by students for students.
And to begin this episode, Media Nord interviewed WIFT Sverige, short for Women in Film and Television. They're an organization based in Sweden that focuses on gender issues in film and TV. Here is the interview.
My name is Alejandra, and I'm a founder of WIFT, and I'm a cinematographer.
My name is Theo Lindberg. I have worked most of my life as an editor, and I'm the founder of WIFT Trans, and I'm also the vice president of WIFT Sweden. WIFT, as it was called in the beginning, Women in Film, was started in Los Angeles in 1973 as a reaction to women not getting into the workplace. Like the professional workplace of making films. They were secretaries and assistants, but they couldn't get any other positions, really. And WIFT Sweden started in 2003, so just 20 plus years ago. But we all work towards the same thing. It's equality, diversity, representation, inclusion. And what's different from the 70s and today is it's not just for women. It's non-binary, trans people, which is why we've added a plus after WIFT Sweden. I just thought of an example, like in in the beginning of the film industry in LA, women were editors because it wasn't considered like a real job or an A position. It was like, behind closed doors, nobody cares. It was a lot of work. You cut and paste film strips all day long. And then once there was some accolade to the profession, the men took over. So we saw the same problems here. And we wanted to bring people, mostly women, together so they could network with each other. And we wanted to open a dialogue with the Swedish Film Institute and the cultural department in politics, so we could even out the odds a little bit. So it's basically a grassroots movement. We're not getting paid to do it. And it's just out of love and passion.
WIFT is basically a collective of Nordic women working behind the camera. And our main aims are to support and elevate each other.
And WIFT started as a project under the umbrella of WIFT Sweden.
Precisely, yeah. So it started because I was a camera assistant with many years of experience in England and so now I moved here and I found it really hard to find a job, start from scratch. Then I have kids, and then it was like start all over again, and I just couldn't quite get my foot in the industry, and I found a lot of barriers for that. And so eventually I was like, okay, where is the community? Like, where is the other people like me, you know, in behind the camera? And so I spoke with WIFT, because I was a member of WIFT in the UK, so I saw that there was a WIFT here as well. And I spoke with WIFT and I said, I have this idea, I want to focus on people behind the camera, and I sort of did a whole proposal, and they were super supportive, and they helped a lot so that I could set up what it is with Tech today.
Mm-hmm.
WIFT in Sweden, like he was saying, it's a roots organization, so it's mainly it's the members that make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like top bottom going like, we're gonna do this and you come. It's more like, what do you want from it? Here is a platform.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you go on a film or a series and you're gonna be like for 5, 6, 8 months, when you have a family, it's quite a strain on the family. So you can share the job instead of saying no. So you do maybe 1 month you, like a folk spoiler, it could be 1 month you, and then the other another month the other person, and you can, you know, share in it, or 2 months and 2 months, like do it like that. So instead of missing out on the job opportunity, you're sharing this post, and that's for me it would have been quite. It would have made a difference in my career when I was at least folk spilling, I think. I think the co-sharing is really, it's a great idea, and I really don't think it's just for women. I think it's just, in my point of view, it's generally to have a healthy people in the industry, and that goes for men, women, or whatever. Any person that is working in the industry and wants to have a healthy family life.
Yeah.
Then it's like a really
Or any kind of
great
social
option.
life.
Oh, social life.
And you're right, it's not just women, because they
No.
are the childbearing person.
I think this
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why at the moment we're not doing it. That I think sometimes as women, personally, I don't like that the question of, you know, how do you handle family and stuff
Right.
is just for us. I think
It's only
it
asked
should
women.
be for
Yeah.
both. Like
Yeah.
the amount of DOPs I haven't seen with really unhealthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, because of course, how can they handle to have an okay family when they are away all the time, when they're working those crazy hours?
Yeah.
But if we could try to find a better balance.
It's very different today. It's partly because of COVID, the writer strike in Hollywood, and the world economy. So the industry is doing really poorly at the moment. And not as many people go see movies in the cinema because of all the streaming services. They think that only the big budget productions will get the audience in the cinema. And so they have this go-to. They want to hire the same people that they have hired before, which are usually white, middle-aged men.
I think it's a safe investment, right?
Right.
It's not willing to risk
Yeah.
for something
Exactly.
different and stay with what is already established.
But I also think that there's another layer to all of it, because yes, it's a systematic problem, but it doesn't mean that it's just women who are discriminated against. It's also people of color, and most of all, women of color, and you know, LGBTQIA+ people also.
I think, like, we did a little survey and stuff here in Sweden. At least one of the main barriers is the lack of network. So when you haven't been born in the industry, let's say, or haven't been to the school where you meet the people that's going to give you the jobs, and you're in all of this. So if you're lacking all that network, that is one of the main things that we get. And then it's a lack of training. So there's not enough training in terms of catching up with the technology, like a formal education that gives you that, or an institution, or any structure that has policies in place that to give higher quality training.
It's a very exclusive club.
Yeah, because it's super informal as well. Like, who's regulating how they're hiring these
No,
people?
yeah. We all have unconscious bias, and I think that's the most dangerous part of racism right now. Because if you work at our film institutes and you are the person who's allocating money to different projects, it's all going to depend on who that person is, what their background is, what their upbringing was like, and what kind of cultural exchange they've ever had in their life.
Of course.
They're like, if it's a svennebanan, like a super Swedish person who's never seen anything or questioned anything that they've been taught, then that person's going to be so much less likely to give money to a young woman of color who wants to tell the story of her grandmother from another continent.
Because I've heard this excuse many times, which I think is so 20 years ago, where it goes like, but we just read the story.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a good story or if it's a good film, we don't see if it's made by a black person or by a woman or whatever. And you're like, but they're unconscious bias. Like, do you really don't know? Like, if you only have 2 people, white people, choosing the projects, you really think that you're
No,
going to
I
be
know.
so unbiased
Yeah.
by it. It's like, yeah. And therefore, I do truly believe that you need to have policies and strategies in place and institutions for this,
Yes.
which we do not have.
And I think, we all have unconscious biases.
Of course.
Everyone, and some more and some less. But if you are going to be if you're going to be a person in a position of power, then you have an obligation to educate yourself about your own unconscious biases. I would say number 1 is make sure you have a network. It's like if you're a woman who want to work in a technical job, you have to kind of adapt a no fear attitude. Like, you have to maybe speak louder, have sharper elbows, and just be seen and heard, and make sure you're seen and heard. And that's not so easy always, but that would be my advice.
I think I agree. Take space.
Yeah,
Just take space.
take up the room.
Take the room, take space. Train.
Yeah.
Like
Study,
practice, train.
study
practice,
and train. Yeah.
Do a lot of...
Learn the new stuff. You're going to have an advantage over a lot of people who are in this industry because they've been in the industry for so long and they're so set in their ways and they don't want to learn new things.
That was really interesting. Now, remember that there's a lottery with amazing prizes. And to win these amazing prizes, you gotta leave a comment here on YouTube answering the following questions.
Share with us your favorite female director and recommend us a movie made by a female director. So just leave it down here in the comment.
Yes. And to continue talking about these topics, we are pleased to introduce a renowned and acclaimed cinematographer from NRK who's been working on amazing series and documentaries directly from Trondheim.
Maja Holand.
Hey! Woo!
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for being here and taking the
Yes.
time. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's I'm trying to find my English back. It will be a little bit English Norwegian, I think, but yeah, bear with me.
Yes, indeed. And to get right into it, you're a cinematographer
Yes.
who has worked on projects like SKAM.
Yes.
And what does being a cinematographer mean to you?
That's a great question. It means Oh, I think the cinematographer has kind of I already missing my English words here.
That's
The responsibility
Yeah.
for what's in the frame.
Yeah.
With all the technology that work
Mhm.
with it, we need to how it's framed and how it's lit,
Yeah.
and you have the responsibility for the equipment. But and you have all this responsibility, but the main thing is that you are kind of with the director,
Yeah.
and is the director's best friend on
Mhm.
set, and trying to ask the right questions, trying to build up the director and
Yeah.
and ask the questions that makes him or her find what she or he wants to tell,
Yeah.
and that's in pre-production maybe,
Yes.
and do that vision into
Yeah.
the film by the cinematography, I think. Yeah.
And how big of a part does visualizing and understanding the vision behind the project? How big of a role does that play in pre-production, especially for you as a cinematographer?
I think it's really important
Yeah.
because we are making films.
Yes.
And and I think also that's a big question you always should ask yourself, like, why is this a film and not a podcast
Yeah.
or a book? Or because it has to have visuals.
Yeah.
It has to claim it's being on a cinema kind
Yeah.
of. And I think maybe I've seen some things that didn't think that
Yeah.
thought, but we have, like, for me, I tell my stories, and
Yeah.
I know how to tell the stories with films, so
Yeah.
I understand why we use that. I won't be able to write a book,
Yeah.
but I think it's really
Yeah.
really important to understand in the pre-production.
Yeah.
And I always tell I'm a teacher at another university, and I always
Yeah.
tell them to find references and
Yep.
and find a visual language. It's very important because then everyone knows what to do on set.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very interesting, and I think it's a very good point. Like, why does this story need to be told in visuals and stuff like that, and not being like a podcast or a book or, yeah. But how did you end up working as a cinematographer for NRK? What was your journey like? How did you end up here?
Yeah, actually, I have to correct you a little bit because yes, I've been working for NRK a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and back in the Marienlyst in Oslo, that's where I began my career,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've been working a little bit in Trondheim as well, but mainly I work in a company here. It's named HerStory.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm ended up in a company named HerStory.
Yeah.
And you asked about how I ended up here.
Yeah, what was your journey like?
No, I was I was kind of born with a father who was a press photographer
Mm-hmm.
in a newspaper. So I think I just knew that he had the best job ever, and I loved being with him on work.
Yeah.
And I wrote in my friends' diaries when I was a kid that I wanted to be a photographer as well. And since then, I don't know when, but I think I just felt it like this was the best thing, and I really wanted to do it. And but then I started studying it, and I made my first documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and I just putting things together with the music, and it was just this huge world that opened,
Yeah.
and it was so interesting to work in it. So since then, I went to school in Lillehammer, both documentary and fiction,
Yeah.
with cinematography. And then I started working for the NRK in Oslo.
Was it that you had like an internship, or how did you end up working for NRK?
Yeah, I have to be honest, like for you who are students
Yeah.
also, like the first years after school is a bit hard, and also to get paid jobs. It takes a couple of years to like establish yourself. So we had to do like we had to make things together with no money, but everyone we could do something
Yeah.
ourselves. And also I could be a focus puller on a fiction film. I was doing a lot of different things, being a light assistant, camera assistant, and so on. And but I think I wanted always to work in the NRK. I don't know, it's a childhood dream, I think. So when I saw this ad, we are searching for like photographers, but also editors. You have to, when you work in NRK, you have to both do shooting and editing. But I knew how to edit because I also went to this documentary school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't been searching so many jobs, but this one I really wanted. So I worked a lot with that application, and then I got it. And when we talk about it now, and I think about it with this woman in film background, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I got this job because I was a woman. I don't know. I hope I got it because I was the best one. But yeah, I don't know. But I got my first job, and it was a humor show.
How so?
Really? That they found my first project was a humor show, and I was okay. I have no idea about humor. I don't know what I'm doing here. And I had to be honest with them. They were also very unknown then. They are more famous now in Norway. They are Lars Berrum and Martin Beyer-Olsen. They are really have a huge podcast.
Yeah.
But back then, no one knew who they were. And we... but it was really, really fun. And because also they had this... they were so free.
Yeah.
And they were really open to me, and I could like do whatever. None of us knew what we were doing actually, but you know, in the NRK they had this huge, all the equipment. It was like a candy shop, and I just claimed I want the red, and we will make it like a small drama piece, or this is this old DV cameras. This is perfect for this sketch, or. So it was like, actually, when I think about it, it was the best film school because I did so many different genres, and also I think I did everything myself because it was only me who made it. But when we made like huge music videos, like should look like $1 million, and I did all of it by myself. But of course, I had the candy shop in NRK that was free, But I think it was an important start because I always impressed myself sometimes on what I could do only by myself. Yeah.
And learning it by doing it.
Yeah.
Like with a lot of practice, hands-on.
Yeah, and it was so much like the shoulders were so low.
Yeah.
Like it was just 2 days shooting, and if it was a failure, it was a fail. Nobody cared. So it was. I think it was a really nice start. But when I was there, I was a little bit like I didn't tell so many people about it. I was a little bit ashamed. I was like, okay, you're probably working this huge artistic thing, and I was like, you're working this humor show that nobody knew who were. But when I'm thinking back, this was maybe the funniest job I ever had, and I learned so much.
Especially having the space to be creative and to try out.
Yeah, and they gave me so much freedom to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know since you were talking just now about being a woman in the industry, regarding today's theme, could you share with us what's the female director that has impacted you the most, and with which project?
Yeah. You gave me this question beforehand, so I got to think a little bit about it. And I think the one woman who influenced me the most is a woman named Lynn Ramsey.
Okay.
She's a Scottish director, and she also came from cinematography. She did that at school. And I saw that you don't know her name. No? So you should definitely check her up. And it was her film Ratcatcher. Which is it's an old film now, and we were like, because in film studies we are analyzing films and old films, and this was one of the films, and it was like the first time I came aware of that it's a female director.
Yeah.
because all of the other films has been male.
Yes.
Yeah, but before I understood that, the films really captured me, and it really resonated with how I like to watch films and what she's doing. It's very like simple but poetic and realistic at the same time. All the films are really beautiful. You should see it. The new ones is let's talk about Kevin and
let's talk about Kevin.
yeah.
I think
the man who wasn't there. Yeah,
the man who wasn't there.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So she still influenced me. Definitely. Yeah, she's a study for film students. Yes.
Well,
Awesome.
we definitely didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're definitely gonna go check it out.
Everyone should check it out. That
Yeah.
sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. So, what would you then say was the first, maybe biggest project that you worked on? Something that you maybe learned the most about, or
Yeah, like I don't know if you. The biggest project is definitely SKAM. Yeah, it still haunts me kind of. Everyone is like, she's the one filmed SKAM, and yeah, I like, okay, it's been a while since then. And when we shot it, we didn't know that it was going to be so big and everything. We were just focusing on the job, and we've been shooting this other series before. It was called Jenter, girls, and it was for 12-year-olds.
Okay.
So I've been also working on that with Julie Andem, who's the director. And then it was like, now we're going to follow these 12-year-olds when they are 16. So we have kind of developed this kind of new genre that is called net drama. It's like drama. It's a marathon drama. It's like you make so much drama in so short time. And it's unbelievable what we did. I really can't think about it now how we did it, but we did it. But it's also like, it's not like my cinematography art. I think it's a pretty much like plain shooting. But sometimes we got this, every week we had this photography film, like we call it, that we could take it up a level and make some more cool stuff, and with more cinematic plainness and so on. So it was a really smart way of like making drama, I think.
And especially, I imagine it's almost soap opera style. Like you need to film a lot.
Yeah. And it's also learned me so much about what you can do with small amount of equipment. And it still inspires me because you can do so much. With just a few lamps and some diffusion and it can be a worldwide series.
Exactly, like SKAM.
You don't need a trailer with equipment to make it, and that's inspiring, I think.
Really,
Yes. And if you can delve a little bit into your mind, and if you can and would like to, would you share with us what is your creative process like, and how has it changed since your first big project, since SKAM?
How the creative process is. Oh, that's a difficult question.
Like, let's say you get a script, and and the director would like you to be the DOP, and how do you tackle the project?
Okay. I read the script really, but just like I see the film, I just read it and try to feel it. By the way, and that's an important thing to have with you when you're planning it, and talk to the director after. And I think it's very important for you to talk to the director, and it's also personal. It's really hard to if you don't know each other. You have to. It's like speed dating. You have to get to know each other really fast because it's personal. Every film is really personal. So I also maybe have to share something personal about myself, or an experience that I can connect to the film, or I always try to bring something in me to the film. I think that's important, and I try to find something that can inspire me, or
Yeah.
that I want to tell, or take kind of an ownership in the project.
Yeah.
And also really ask the questions to get to know the director, I think,
Mhm.
and what he or she wants to tell.
Yeah.
It's important, I think. And then try to make kind of a visual plan on how should this be told?
Yeah.
What kind of camera, what kind of equipment, what kind of style,
Yeah.
or can I find some reference films or reference pictures?
Yeah.
Try to make this language work, and just watch films together. That's the best thing. But we don't have so much time
Yeah.
now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think see this film, and then we can watch it in the night, and then we can talk about it the day after. That's a
Yeah.
very nice thing. And then
And do you work a lot as well with the storyboards?
no, I
No?
don't work so much in storyboard, and
Yeah.
then especially also in SKAM, it's a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm maybe sorry to say, but I'm working a lot with called Dreiebok in Norwegian. It's just a shot list,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
and also I make this floor plan
Yes.
with just the small figures, just so everyone kind of understands the space, and then I
Mhm.
can plan some lights and
Yeah.
stuff. But also because I like to have this plan kind of, but I also like that you can be free on
Yes.
set.
That
And
you
it's
can.
not like locked to all this. And some films you have to have this kind of plan and storyboard, but I think the films I'm ending up doing
Yeah.
is because I'm more like intuition
Yeah.
person and cinematographer. I like to follow, and then everyone is kind of free on set, and especially with inexperienced actors, etc., and children, they just need to be free. And it's hard to have this storyboard.
Yeah.
That you have to be there on set and see the situation, and then kind of solve the cinematography after
Yeah.
what's happening.
Mm.
So it's kind of what it's depends kind of what film you are making, who's behind, and if it's professionals
Yeah.
or
Mm.
it's been a long time, and I think that's because I'm
Yeah.
think my
Being a bit more spontaneous as well. Like once you arrive there and try to solve the not the problems, but try to get the best.
try to see the
outcome.
situation
Yeah.
best, and that's what I did on SKAM as well. We didn't
Mhm.
have any storyboard. Of course, it was a bit shot reverse shot, but also you have like to be there and see what's happening, and
Yep.
who has the emotions now. Yeah,
Mm.
Yep.
I think it's a bit important.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes. And I think it's good also to give the space to not necessarily improvise, but to try out more things. And I know a lot of people love storyboards. I know it's some might just use it as a Bible, and once they have the storyboard, it's just locked. But I think it's nice to just have the space to be creative and be spontaneous. Just I think maybe we can try this, and maybe if you just have a storyboard and a shot list and the schedule is super locked, then there's no space to. Yeah.
It depends on the film.
Yes.
Also, if you
Yeah.
just have professional actors and everything, maybe it's like they just do the film like they're planned.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's a lot of diversity here,
Yeah.
and you
Mm.
can explore, and that's what you should make your own.
Yes.
Figure out how you want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's really inspiring that there's not one specific way to do it, that it's kind of like up to the situation, the actors, the location and stuff. So it's really inspiring to hear that it's not like rigid. That's very,
Yeah.
when it comes to cinematography and
Sometimes
stuff like that.
actually I did an exercise on my film school where I didn't on purpose I didn't see a single didn't see how how the director did the actors. I didn't see anything how they rehearsed or
Mhm.
anything, so I was just blocked. I didn't know anything, and I also blocked out the sound.
Yeah.
Because they wanted the scene to be really like fearful, and you would be distrahert or
Like
distracted
Distracted,
and physical. I should just focus on the arms and the physics. kind of, and it was so inspiring to do that. Just go into the scene, and it worked
Yeah.
so well because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
It was kind of going to a documentary set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was sort of a blind.
yeah. And I took away some of my listening, my senses.
And yeah.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was interesting. So
Mm.
you can think
Yeah.
do different things. Yeah,
That definitely would leave some creative space and
Yeah.
spontaneity. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well.
And it's it sounds really cool, that process and everything, but is there something specific that you learned from working on SKAM? Is there something that you learned that you have, like an experience or something that you've taken with you for future projects, if that makes sense?
Maybe no. Of course, you just have to have a really good script, and the SKAM's success is Julia. She was like she had the perfect script, and she lived these characters, and that was mainly the success, I think. But it also, like I told you before, how I can lit with really use natural light and lit with this small equipment, and that you don't have to be so much about the details in the light and everything. The main thing you should worry about is the actor's performance, and you should just make it as the best experience for them to play their best. And that's not putting all the gear in. I think it's like putting the gear out and give them space. I think I learned so much about that. And Julia also, she didn't have a monitor. She just had a small monitor on set, and it was just her and me and a sound guy, a boob operator on set, basically. And I think that was how they could shine, and they felt safe, because it wasn't like 5 other people standing behind the monitor watching their performance and pointing, and you know how it is, like I think sometimes it's good to just think a little bit different in how you set up the shooting. Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. And now just going into sort of the experience that you had with your journey that led you now to HerStory. Women in the industry. Do you think that there is a difference or not in being a woman in the industry?
Oh, it's a very complex question, and we discuss it so much at work and in the industry, and but of course it's hard, because I can't say I experienced this and this and this and this, like and say it was because I was a woman. I don't know how, but I think like the society and how we are set, how the old society has formed us in this space. And it's not just the film industry, it's the whole system and society. And of course we are just a small thing in the big system. Then it is maybe a more, I wouldn't say difficult, because sometimes I think it is an advantage, maybe, that someone wants a woman to do this shooting. I have experienced that as well. So, but it's maybe it's a difference, and it's also like they said so many things about family and being a mother, and I think that has a lot of with how we are. It's in the Norwegian. My English is how we are built. The women are built. We have like the empathy, and we have the the feel. I don't know. I want to put. It's so dangerous to like put it in different directions or.
To
But I
take it
also
out of context.
take it out
Yeah.
of context. But I think it also is harder, like biological to for women to be in this insecure job,
Yeah.
and also because if we have children as well, and I think that's like from the middle age, it's biological,
Yeah.
and I think also that's mainly it's affecting us also in this industry and how we think and how we act in it. But of course, it is individuals who's not, and we are different, all of us.
Yeah.
But I think something is biological, and I think it's important, like they say, it's important to work with the industry and to make it more family friendly and don't put up like 12 hours a day and being away for 3 months. But of course, some films have to have that. But if we don't, maybe we should try to change some of the way we are thinking about how we are shooting it, because it's like this is like in old-fashioned way of thinking, kind of, because we have to save money. But maybe it's just maybe you should just think about the numbers again, and maybe it wouldn't save the money. Maybe it will be better to have like normally 8 hours
and have a regular life,
and have
sort of at least, or at least trying to be at home, trying to have a family, and that's for everyone that just tries to at least be sane as well when it comes to, you work 12 hours a day and you do that 6 days a week for a month. It's tough.
It's tough, and and I think maybe we should talk more about it, and but it's hard to be the one who says no. We should do it differently, because we want a job, because it's so hard to also get good jobs. So we are in this spiral. But I think like the thing we are doing in HerStory is like the same thing WIFT are doing. We are just a small company trying to do the same thing here. But it is the same thing that I think also the women biologically also needs kind of more the support to stand together, to have the courage to also take the voice or take their voice out, and I think if you just have a space and other colleagues and we can stand a little bit more together, I think that's maybe the solution to get more women to stay in the industry. And we also can help each other more with like support each other with, okay, you have to go pick the kids up at 4 o'clock. Okay, we are more like this understanding then. But I also think it's important, just the thing that we need the courage to speak out, I think, and that's also in the system from long back in the days. And I'm hopefully we can talk a little bit about the witch trials in the later. But I think also it's actually I'm researching so much about it, and I think we can say many people say that this still affects us because we are not supposed to speak out and be loud and take space. So I think we should think a little bit. I think if something is inside, I think we have to break ourselves a little bit more free.
And I have to say, in Trondheim, the community and as well the really interesting and powerful and creative women, they are just going everywhere right now. Like the duo Bente Molen and Julie Skaufel, and of course we had as well Kjersti Greger, and I think there is now a sort of an incoming wave that they are taking more creative yet still like organizational things like producing, but at the same time creative producing, directing, and because there's always been a lot of at least from what I can see in the organizational side, women have always been present, and as they were talking as well, like secretary assistants, they've always been there, but they've never really been given the executive role where they could take decision and put a project into a certain direction. But at least now things are changing. And when we were interviewing Anders as well the other day, he was talking about putting diversity and inclusion into the film institute that we have here in Norway. And he was trying as well to do it, and I think that's also where we need to intervene and to share and make sure that everyone is sort of at it and doing
Yeah,
yeah
supporting.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah
So for there to be a change in the industry, that we have to be like have the courage to be the voice that we want to hear, and just stand up for what you believe in. What that you said, if you have a feeling of something, just speak out loud to change the industry, like little by little.
yeah
And also stand together. It's
Yeah.
I think it's helps a lot. And also it's important to say, like, I think also the men are doing their best
yeah
and I think everyone is a bit like confused on how we are going to do this
Yeah.
together, but it's so nice that we now started to talk about
Yeah.
it, and we can try to make this straight jacket up a little bit
Yeah.
by little maybe. And and it's also like a democratic, no, I can say it, democracy problem. If we need also the female voices, but also it's been a lot of female in the documentary, but not in the fiction. And also, that's what they talked about how it's not so family friendly, the fiction shooting part.
And the long hours and the long schedules.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about especially challenges and opportunities, what do you think are the main challenges and opportunities for women in today's film industry?
Oh, let me try to figure out what is the main opportunities. Of course, I think everyone should feel that there is an opportunity for everyone, and I think everyone now feels like, if I just have a really good idea and a good project, it doesn't matter if I'm a woman or a man. I think we're there now, but I think like I said, I think we just have to dare to I think it's there. I think we have to dare to do it. And maybe that's a little bit more difficult for women than for men. Maybe, I don't know, but I think a little bit like that. But I think it's a lot of opportunities. We just have a good story and a good idea.
And passion.
And passion
as well.
It doesn't work without passion. No, unfortunately.
Especially in this industry where there's so many passionate people about it.
But really interesting. And moving along, for those who do not know, you have a new documentary coming out. It's about a black metal band, and it's called Hex, right? Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I've been following this band called Witch Club Satan for 2 years now, almost. They were just, first personally, they just got me because I was in a stage in my life where I was completely dead, I felt, and they were like trying to wake up themselves and the society, and screaming hysteria and be trying to be, and also the visuals were really strong. They were like witches and had all this makeup on. They took these incredible pictures, and also the songs and everything. I never heard black metal before, but now I was like listening and thinking, running in the woods, and I was like feeling it, and it was really empowering for me in that stage of life. But I also heard that they couldn't play before they started this project, and also, as a filmmaker, I think I just got this feeling that, of course, someone is filming this film or following this project, but I got like, I have to know. I have to be sure that someone is following this project because it's so cinematic, and like I felt this should be on film. And it's also a personal project for these 3 girls, and they are really doing a really, like, they are girls feminist band going into the genre where there's only guys, they're only men.
Yeah.
So it's a really extreme project. So I just had to ask them, send them a mail. I'm sure someone is following you, but if they're not, I'm a cinematographer, so someone has to. So we just met in Trondheim when they were playing there, and after that I've been following them when they're doing their huge concert on Tons of Rock on Roskilde. They were doing good really fast.
Yeah.
But also when they write and in their personal lives now. And also we are digging a little bit in the witch trials, because they also have this witch from their hometown that were burned as their kind of leading star. So we are also trying to put everything together and also tell a little bit about the witch trials and also how it can be seen in modern society.
That's really interesting.
Wow, I'm talking so much.
No.
It's really interesting. So it's like a retrospective of the past and how it also is relevant for modern times.
Yeah, I hope it will be that way. Yes.
Really interesting. When can we watch it when it comes out, and where can we watch it eventually?
I started to shoot meet them 8th of March in 2022. So I'm hoping for a premiere the 8th of March, the Women's Day.
I see.
In 2026. I'm hoping. It's just my wish.
Yeah.
Let's see how it turns out. But hopefully it will be magical if it was.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout in 2026 when it comes out, because it sounds really interesting. And it's like, I don't think that many people know that too much about black metal, especially with like women as singers and, you know, playing instruments and stuff like that. That is very like male dominated genre. So when I read it, I was like, I'm really excited to hear about this.
That's very good. Then black metal is Norwegian's biggest cultural export. It's like extremely big in in the world.
And to sort of wrap up this episode, could you give us some advice to our students, perhaps future colleagues as well? Best advice that you could give us.
Oh, I'm trying. Okay, I should try to make it short. No, like for what I'm talking about, I'm repeating myself. Just it took me so many years to make the courage to follow my own voice that it mattered, and because I just felt like I'm not important. No one wants to listen to this. So I think it's the most important that all of you have a really important voice, and all of us has histories that can be on film, and have the courage, even though it's tough like hell to do it. Do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Go out and do it.
And also just don't wait for the money. Just do it.
Yes.
Because the money will come after if it's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It was what
was
you're doing is really good, nice,
Yeah.
and good. Yeah.
nice.
Applaud for you to make this podcast.
Sadly, this is the last episode.
Yeah.
But we are not just over yet. We still have the lottery, which they will just bring in very soon. If you don't mind, would you like to help us with the lottery?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to.
And to remind everyone, it was that you had to answer our question in the group chat, and we are going to pick out randomly a name, and you're going to get a lovely prize. So, shall we begin?
Maybe we can announce. We can announce the what they're going to get with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
giveaways. And so first and foremost, we have a lovely decoration that you can see just right behind me.
Yeah, this wall decoration you can get. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. So here we have the names of people who answered the
Ooh.
question. So, and if you want, you can crank it and a random
Well,
name.
Yes. Oh,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
way?
I think it's the opposite
Up
way.
that way? No.
Oh no,
We have one.
a pink ball.
Am I the one? Can I read it?
Of course.
Yes.
Oh.
Of course.
What an honor.
So then it's the decoration on the
Mhm.
wall.
Oh, are you getting this?
Yes.
What
Movie
a
night.
great thing to get.
Yes.
Mm.
And the winner is applaud. Emma!
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations. I'm
Congratulations.
really jealous.
I'm too.
Same.
It looks really cool and it's like it's such a vibe. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. And next up is a gift card for Elköp.
Oh, is it
Mhm.
more? Okay.
Yes,
More.
Wow.
one
Am I
more.
trying to do it the right way or
Yeah, so who is
No.
going to be?
Maybe the opposite side?
It's a confusing thing. Oh, oh,
Maybe a little bit slower.
No, okay. Coming out.
the tension is nigh.
Okay.
Oh,
There we
I'll
go.
take it.
yes. Okay, so who's going to get a gift card? Ooh.
What the gift card? Lars!
Lars.
Lars.
Congratulations, Lars.
No, all these people,
Congratulations.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're actually, if I'm not mistaken, both part of the crew, actually.
No, that's good.
And we cannot comment to win, but they can. No.
But yeah, congratulations to the winners. But yeah, that's all from us, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for being here, Maja. It
Yes.
was lovely to have you here, and we learned a lot. We're really excited to see the documentary coming out. And yeah.
Well, I would like to also say a special thank you to the audience, but first and foremost to our lovely crew
crew coming
that
in.
has been with us throughout the entire project.
How are we gonna do?
And here we have Valeria, our producer.
Hey.
Here we have Lars, our sound.
Sound. Woo.
Joachim with graphics, and Emma, our set designer. And last but not least, we're missing the director.
The directors.
Which, thank you so much to Pamela Montero, which she's right in the booth and she can't escape, unfortunately. But yes, please.
Hello, everybody. I don't know which camera, but well, Pame decides there. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that has participated so far in all these episodes along like 1 year and a half. I didn't realize how long we've been doing this until you said it today earlier. So yeah, I know that a lot of people have collaborated some way, somehow, from different careers, from games, from animations, also from film. So yeah, I just want to express a lot of like how grateful I feel that we could create this really 15 episodes so far. That's a lot. So yeah, thank you so much, and a special thanks to Aidan, because we started this together a long time ago, like you said before, in a small pavilion just with two mics and two cameras. And to Greg, that was the one that actually encouraged us to do this. So, and Helga, of course. So yeah, thank you, and thanks to you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, now remember to subscribe to this channel and follow us on @MediaNord on Instagram to stay tuned.
Yes. And
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maja. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
That is all,
That is all.
ladies and
Oh, we're
gentlemen.
going to have a party.
Well, and well, thank you so much.
Have a